But what is the whining about? It's about a lack of charity and a lack of fundamental respect for other human beings. Let me give you an example. I'll bet that there are people listening to this podcast right now. I'll bet there's women listening to this podcast right now who are like me in this respect. Ladies, do any of you, whenever you go into a public restroom and you're there and you're kind of washing your hands and all that, and have you ever wiped down the countertop at the vanity in the public restroom? Have you ever picked up any paper towels that are laying on the floor or anything like that? Have you ever cleaned up a public bathroom? I do this fairly frequently. And there's no sense of, well, this isn't my job. This is what the janitors are being paid to do. No, if I'm standing there and, I can do something to kind of help tidy up a little bit and wipe down a countertop and pick up a few paper towels. I grab a paper towel in my hand so that I'm not touching anyone else's foulness, and I wipe around and do all that and throw it away. Why do I do that? And the thought, I promise you, the thought never crosses my mind, this isn't my job. I'm not being paid to do that. Why do I do that? So that maybe it's a little bit nicer and cleaner for the next people who come in, so that I leave it in better shape than I found it. It's just a simple question of fundamental respect, and what that actually is charity, caritas, the virtue of charity for other human beings. That's it. That's all. Let's just clean this up a little bit. I'm here. I'm not pressed for time. I'll just wipe things down a bit. I'll bet there's other ladies listening to this podcast right now who do the same thing. That's what that is. And so you can take some...
To be fair, I'm sure there are men who do it. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that. I don't do it every single time, but I do it on occasion.
Yeah, I think cleaning up public bathrooms is probably something that women do more. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure there are men who do the same thing. And hey, if you are a man who does do things like that, if you pick up trash. Oh, you know what a great example of this is? When a few years ago, within the last decade, when the Tea Party thing was rolling, they had a huge rally in Washington, D.C. on the Mall. And I think it was one of the things that like Glenn Beck was involved in. And all of these people turn out for this thing. And it's this huge, mass of people on the National Mall. And they took pictures after all these people cleared out. There was no trash. Everyone had picked up after themselves. The mall was actually cleaner after this Tea Party group was there than before. It was spotless. And then like 2 days later, there was some damn thing, some leftist, I don't know if it was, Louis Farrakhan and the blacks or if it was some feminist
Probably
deal.
National
I don't know what it
Organization
was.
of Women, I'm guessing.
Say again?
Probably the National Organization of Women.
Probably something like that. Anyway, it was a bunch of leftists, and they show a picture of the National Mall after those people cleared out and left, and it was, it looked like a dump. It looked like a garbage dump. Everybody just dropped all of their crap right where they stood. Water bottles, food wrappers, all of the signs, everything. It was an absolute disaster. That was so instructive because what's the difference? Those Tea Party people had fundamental respect for other human beings. And so that manifests as a virility in the sense of being willing to do things that are unpleasant. Cleaning is unpleasant. Sure, would it be technically, take the moral component out of it, would it be technically easier to just drop all of your trash right where you stand and walk away from it? Take all moral considerations aside. Well, sure, it would be easier to do that. In order to pick up and clean up, and to pick up and clean up after other people, that's even more unpleasant. But everybody did it. And so why? Because there was a fundamental respect for other people, which is at its heart, it's charity. So you love God, and then for the sake of loving God, you love other people, including perfect strangers, including people that you will never see. So, for example, the people who come after you in the public bathroom, you will never see these people. You will never see the benefit of you cleaning up the bathroom to the people who come after you. You'll never see it. There will be nobody saying thank you. There will be no sense of somebody walking into a bathroom and saying, wow, this is a really clean bathroom. There's none of that. The only thing that's motivating you is just this caring about other people just purely because they exist.